Hey guys, and welcome back to the FPL Point Predictor, in partnership with FPL Bet and Bet for the Best. Make sure to visit fplbet.com where you can see their pundits challenge me with their own team of 5-point predictor. This is the series where I pick 5 Fantasy Premier League players that I believe are guaranteed 4 points or more in the upcoming FPL game week. But to keep things interesting, I must select one defensive option, alongside one midfield and one striking option that are both below the value of 8 million. And remember, I can only select one player per team. You can also see these rules shown here and in the description below. So with that cleared up, let's first take a quick minute and look back at last week's predictions and see how I fared for Game Week 11. And don't forget, if you do enjoy the video, make sure to support me and hit that like button, and also get subscribed for weekly content throughout the season. My defensive option last week, Charlie Daniels, faced what looked to be a comfortable home fixture to strugglers Sunderland. Not the best of starts for me, with Sunderland achieving a surprise win there and my choice Daniels only mustering a single point. Swansea still remain on a barren spell of results, but my budget midfield option, Gylfi Sigurdsson, proved he's a consistent, astute FPL signing. Despite losing 3-1 to United, he contributed yet another assist and a point haul of 4 points or more for the 5th time this season. Considering Liverpool's current run of form, it didn't take a genius to select one of their many attacking midfield options, and I selected the in-form Philippe Coutinho. In the end, it wouldn't have really mattered who I chose, with Liverpool scoring 6 and all their high-priced midfielders getting a slice of that pie. Facing the current whipping boys Hull City last week made the in-form Charlie Austin a pretty easy selection for my point predictor. It wasn't the result I was expecting, with Hull coming out as winners, but Austin delivered again from the penalty spot and gives me another correct prediction. Sergio Aguero had been off the boil in recent weeks, but after bouncing back and firing 2 past West Brom, it seemed certain that he'd take this goal-scoring form into Game Week 11. Despite his point haul of 6, still not satisfying the more hopeful of managers, he still bagged a goal and picked up 4 or more points. And this takes my final total to a point predictor best, with 4 out of 5 correct predictions last week. It's a shame I can't predict this well when it comes to my own FPL team. I'm over the moon that I was able to return these kind of predictions last week, and I hope they came in handy for some of you. Make sure to drop me a like if it did, and now let's move right on and see if I can follow up these kind of returns in my point predictor for Game Week 12. For my Game Week 12 defensive option, I'm selecting Chelsea's wingback Marcos Alonso. Chelsea's defensive record of late is hard to ignore, and it speaks for itself with a run of 5 clean sheets on the bounce now. They boast the second best defence in the league currently, and now face Middlesbrough, who are one of the league's lowest scorers. They are away from home, and Borough's form has improved recently, but with Marcos Alonso playing this attacking wing-back role, his offensive exploits may also be on display. With all this considered, I'd say Marcos Alonso has a good chance of picking up 4 or more points. For my midfielder under 8 million, I'm backing Joe Allen to bounce back from his 2-point blank in the last game week. Next up, he faces Bournemouth, whose form has peaked and now seems to have taken a downturn, with defeats to Middlesbrough and Sunderland in their last 2 outings. Joe Allen's side, Stoke, are unbeaten in 6 game weeks now, with 3 wins and 3 draws, so on paper you'd have to fancy Stoke to get all 3 points here. And with Joe Allen having a large involvement in a lot of Stoke's attacking play this season, playing that number 10 role, he surely has a great chance of contributing something. My any valued midfielder this week goes to Kevin De Bruyne. His next opponents, Crystal Palace, have conceded 3 or more goals in each of the last 3 games. And as you'll see shortly, I couldn't find a place for Aguero in my point predictor this week, so I feel that De Bruyne is the next best option. Man City remain on an indifferent run of form at the moment, so away to Palace isn't going to be easy, but they've only failed to score once in the league this season, and as I seem to be saying every week, Crystal Palace are still without a clean sheet from the opening 11 games. Regardless of which way the result goes, I feel Aguero and hopefully De Bruyne should be in the points for Game Week 12. For my budget striker, under the price of 8 million this week, the only option that really jumped out for me was Sunderland's Jermaine Defoe. If you head over to the FPL website and filter out any striker above the value of 8 million, you'll see that Defoe then tops the point charts by quite some way. He's by far the highest scoring option around this price range currently, which can often slip under the radar considering Sunderland's awful start to the season. Jermaine Defoe now boasts 2 goals in his last 2 games, albeit from the penalty spot, but he plays a must-win game next against fellow strugglers Hull. Defoe has often been the hero for the Black Cats, and could be set to do so again against a Hull City side who are without a clean sheet since Game Week 2. And finally, for my any price striker this week, I'm opting for Romelu Lukaku. The Belgian has produced returns of 5 points or more in 6 of his last 8 games, and hasn't failed to score at home since way back in August during Game Week 3. With these kind of stats considered, it would seem nailed on that Lukaku will contribute at least something this game week where he faces rock bottom of the league, Swansea City. Swansea are shipping goals at the moment, conceding 9 in their last 4, and are still yet to get going under new manager Bob Bradley. For this position, I was pretty keen to opt for Sergio Aguero here, but remember, this is the point predictor and I can only pick one player per team, and I do believe that Lukaku is a very solid, sensible choice for Game Week 12. Okay guys, and that wraps up the point predictor for Game Week 12. It's good to be back after a long international break, and I sincerely hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much to all of you for hitting 75 likes on my last one. That is truly amazing. I hope I can repay the favour by getting another good set of predictions here. I'm not sure I can follow up with another 4 out of 5, but let's see how it goes. Get subscribed if you haven't already, and I wish you all the best for Game Week 12.